Hmm. Wow. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including Simple Favor 2, Ready or Not to, Cuckoo gets delayed, say it doesn't. Oh, not really, I don't care. Godzilla X Kong arrives this weekend, guys, and I saw it last night. We're going to do a full review here today. I just got to say that it's on the surface level, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought this one was going to be the one where we go, okay, we're done. Let's get off this ride now. But it's not. So we'll talk about that. Megalopolis gets some screenings and some somber news to start off the show today. One that kind of bums me out. So let's get to it. Gossett Jr. passes on at the age of 87. Now, if you don't know this actor, of course, he won an Oscar for an officer and a gentleman. What else was he in? Iron Eagle series, Jaws 3. What was that? Not Space Seed. Enemy Mine, right? With Dennis Quaid. So he's worked with Dennis Quaid a couple of times, hasn't he? With that and Jaws 3. Good actors. And we just I last saw him in the series Watchmen, which was kind of cool to see him in. But 87. So he has passed on at the age of 87. It is with our heartfelt regret to confirm that our beloved father has passed away this morning. So please respect the family's privacy during this difficult time. Of course, it's a huge, very difficult time. But I want to pay my respects to Gossett Jr. because, as I said, I had lots of respect for him. Yeah, Iron Eagle series, Iron Eagle 1 and 2. Was he in the third one? Well, let's just pull up his IMDb and take a look, shall we? Yeah, why not? What a career. May 27th, 1936 to March 28th, 2024. Well, that is a long time. Wow, 1936. Yep. Does he have anything left in the can that might still come up? So he completed some voice work on If. Okay, so that's that Ryan Reynolds movie. So he's going to be a voice in that. That's cool. It's completed. Sold to keep. So he was still working. That's admirable. What a champ. Wow. What a hero. Is that Linda Blair? What movie was this? Circus of the Star. Oh yeah. They used to do like in what was it, the late 80s? They used to do like these circus shows, but with like celebrities. And they'd come in and do like the jump rope or the tightrope walk and stuff. Cool. Linda Blair was cool. She still is. We just last saw her in that Abomination Exorcist Believer. Anyway, let's focus in on this guy's career. 212 acting credits, 14 producing credits, 2 directing credits. What did he direct? Let's just take a look. TV movie and The Power of Matthew Starr in 1983 TV series episode. Fascinating. So he liked to dabble. He tried it out. Maybe it wasn't for him. Who knows? Producer, good. But yeah, he's got 200 credits in your acting resume. Yow. Wow. That you just bend over. He's got to bow with respect, right? What are you doing, the Highwayman? I didn't hear that. You guys hear something weird now? No, just now? No, I didn't. Zoo Man, TV movie, 1993, Monolith. I just wanted to see if he was in Iron Eagle 3. There was an Iron Eagle 3, wasn't there? El Diablo. Yeah, Aces, Iron Eagle 3. So he was still there. Chappie. Digstown. Good dramatic actor. Lots of versatility. Lots of versatility. So, that being said, let's pay respects to one of my favorite scenes in Jaws 3 that just shows you well, his ability to transform from being nice to being absolutely mean. So this is a scene in Jaws 3 when the shark has just attacked the undersea kingdom. But he comes on to the PA system trying to, okay, people, it's time to evacuate.
Hello out there. This is Calvin Bouchard. May I please have your kind attention? Due to technical difficulties, it has become necessary for us to temporarily close the undersea kingdom. Now,
Yeah. So
for those of y'all,
basically, he just tells them to follow your guides.
please follow your guides, and they will point out the most convenient and accessible exits.
Now watch. This is what I like.
Is this all? Uh-huh. Give me some lights down there. Got them right here. Get some shit down there. And get me some medical attention here, quick!
Yeah. And then I've done these things for like Jaws, where especially Jaws 3. It's small little scenes like that that sold the movie to me, and I liked watching those small little scenes. It's just an acting scene, and of course, yeah, the shark scenes are really silly. Look at the fish.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it is what it is. But we should, if I can get a copy of Jaws, this we should maybe just watch all four of Jaws together, right? And just go through it all because I mean, there's some stuff in there that just yes, that's laughable, but it's still kind of creepy. Um, there's conditions that yeah that you realize that it's supposed to be 3D. It was Jaws 3D. But going back to Luc Besson Jr., just to wrap things up about him, great career, Oscar award winner. May he rest in peace. Um, just overall, seems like a true mensch, right? There he is winning his Academy Award. Great smile, too. He just seemed like he had a friendly demeanor to him. You never heard stories that he yelled at people or got short with people who were coming up through the acting system. Yeah. And it's cool there he's with Christopher Reeve and Susan Sarandon when he got his. Rest in peace, Luc Besson Jr. Okay. Godzilla X Kong is out in theaters and it's stomped to a $10 million Thursday night preview. Wow. My theater was moderately full. It wasn't packed or anything like that. There were still a lot of empty seats, maybe about 45%. But I saw it at the 7 p.m. show. Today it's running all matinees because it's Good Friday, right? So expect some big box office numbers from Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, because people are digging it, man. At least that's what I think. That's what I've heard. Let's go over to the tomato meter. Oh, 54% by critics. Whatever. 92 by the audience. This is the kind of movie where you don't care about what the critics are going to say about it. You just want to go see it because of the big monsters. So, with that being said, guys, before we get into what like the box office haul is going to be for the weekend, which it is going to be number one. What else opened up this weekend? Nothing. So it's going to be number one. I expect everything to get shoved down here one full step. Kung Fu Panda and Doom Part 2 may flip flop back and forth here like they have been for the last little while. But I would expect Immaculate will be number five, and then, just like that kind of thing, right? For Godzilla. But let's get into my formal review. Whoops. Pfeiffer says, hey, in the live chat, congrats on the Blue Jays winning yesterday. Yes, the Blue Jays, they won. So just give me a second here while I set this up because it appears that I did not save my poster in the right slot. So I got to reset my poster and we'll be right back shortly. Oh, high energy, new pump. Well, it's kind of hard to get pumped up. People don't watch these full length reviews. I don't know. Eventually, I think I'm gonna start phasing them out because just nobody really seems to care about the like. I'm sure that eventually, somewhere along the lines, people would like to see my in depth thoughts about it. But it's this out of the theater reactions that get all the reviews or all the views because it's quick, it's simple. Is it good or not? Should I go see it? And I tell you that straight up. But it's opening today, so let's get into it. High energy. I'll try. I'll try. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. It's out in theaters this weekend, guys. And should you go see it? I would say, yeah, it's big. It's huge on the big screen. And you want to take advantage of that. Now, I saw it in a 3D version, and I gotta say that it's not really worth seeing it in the 3D because they try to mask maybe some of the CG work in it with the 3D aspect ratio and stuff because uh, stuff gets blurred out or it's darkened. You don't need to see it in 3D, but like you go to see it for the big monsters throw down. And stop this on his I said it in my straight out of the theater reaction. Won't be alone. This movie delivers that. You think that this part looks kind of funny and stuff, but when he fights Scar King is the bad guy in this one, and Scar King is a good villain. I enjoyed it quite a bit, a lot more than I thought I would, because when you watch it, it's kind of like I don't care about the humans. Just get the show me the monsters. I don't want to see the human story. But they actually do a really good job. Brian Tyree Henry is back in there. Rebecca Hall, Dan Stevens does a good job in this. Like Dan Stevens, sort of like the comic relief. He's kind of like a big, well, veterinarian, if you could say that. He studies the kaiju, right? So it's kind of like, yeah. There's some interesting things going on with that. And they go and they talk about, well, what happened to Monarch? Well, and it was like, yeah. So they address all of those fan concerns we have, like, well, we drop so many storylines. Dan Stevens, as I said, does a great job. Will somebody out there say that he feels out of place, that he doesn't feel like he belongs in this movie? Maybe. But I thought he did fairly good. And this little thing here, I laughed out loud on his opening scene because you're just like, oh, isn't he cute? Then he gets totally just yeah. Anyway, there's little things in there that like that get me energized. I'm like, I'm enjoying this movie. I know that it's like if I'm gonna be super analytical about the structure of this of the movie and look at the plot points and stuff like that, logic, of course it fails. I'll give you an example. It stands to reason that if there's a cave and you are inside that cave standing there, and I have to go around a corner to see you standing there, that if I walked in from outside to see you standing there, then you should also be able to go around the corner and walk out of the cavern. Right? You see that? Like if you're not tied up or anything like that, you're just wanting to get out, stands to reason you should be able to get out. It's little logical things like that if you are so nitpicky and let little things like that get at you, of course this movie's going to fall flat for you. It's not going to work for you. But you let it go because you're wanting to watch Godzilla and Kong. Do you get kind of like a rematch between the two? Actually, yes, you kind of do. But then, yeah, they throw down with you get to see Scar King there, and I like the bone kind of whip that he's got. I think they explain this armor here very well. His power glove hand. To even call it that, guys. So all of your fun, like little nitpicking things that you'd be like, "Ah, blah, 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 blah." No, they explain it very, very well, and it's kind of like this has no business being as good as it should be. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, and as I said, coming out of the theater, is it as good as Godzilla -1? No, of course not. You can't rate it on the same scale though, right? Godzilla -1 is a lot more serious in tone. Of course, the human characters are more developed in Godzilla -1, so that you actually care when somebody's about to die. In this one, would I care if any of this cast were to expire? Well, maybe a little bit of Rebecca Hall. I got and the two guys I got nothing against. But Adam Wingard directs, and I heard in a press screening this week that he was kind of like, this movie's really more about the point of view from the monsters. And we really want to focus in on that. And I was like, yeah, they just say that. It's not going to really happen. But there's good sections of this movie that are just the monsters, no dialogue. Because Kong doesn't talk. He just growls and stuff like that. But when he's down in the Hollow Earth exploring, trying to find other apes like him, and of course we know that we does find them, but there's just scenes going on. I'm like, there's no dialogue going on here. This has been like 10 minutes. This is good. And you understand it. You understand everything that's going on through body language. And like, kudos to the visual effects team for pulling that off. There's Rebecca Hall in a rather revealing, wow, red carpet. Wow. Dan Stevens, what do you think about that jacket? Ooh, it's a little bit loud for my taste, but he seems to be rocking it okay, I guess. There's the director, Adam Wingard. That's a good poster. That's an international poster. I like that poster. So, know that all this stuff going in. Let's just pull up my preliminary score sheet and start filling in some of the numbers. We'll get through this rather quickly, guys, because acting, directing, and story are of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of a possible 1 point each. So acting overall, guys, I would have to give... obviously, nobody's Oscar worthy in this. But because Dan Stevens and Brian Tyree Henry have some really good banter back and forth, and then Rebecca Hall and the young girl also have some good banter back and forth. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. So I'll give 1.5 for the acting. I'll give 1.5 for the directing, because there is some stuff here that I got to talk about visual wise, which is kind of weird. And I'll give 1.5 for the story. Will I? Yeah, because the story made sense. But as I said, there's some minor nitpicks in there that may it'll make you go like, why didn't you just walk out of the cave? Anyway, cinematography, I am going to give a full point to, and why did that go up? I'm going to give a full point to the cinematography because there's multiple times when they're in the Hollow Earth and they're just going through all of it, and when they're fighting in the end, where it's just breathtaking imagery, breathtaking, and it's just like, even with the 3D glasses on, you're just kind of sitting back and going, that's a really cool image. Now, conversely, on the opposite side of that, there's still score was fine. There's still an attribute to the visual effects where you look at Kong or the apes, and if you were to compare it to, say, like Planet of the Apes or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, like in a single frame, it looks good, but in motion, your mind still says that's just a CGI creation. And if you were to say to me at the end, well, it just feels like a big cartoon, just, you said that about Shang-Chi, James, that it just turned into a big cartoon. Well, of course they've got to use CG for these big things, right? Our brains still haven't, like, there's still work in the way that the hair and lies, that it's kind of like, yeah, that's just a computer doing it. It doesn't feel fully tangible like the way that Godzilla -1 did. Like you didn't quite feel the weight of them, if you know what I mean. Um, it was sort of like a big cartoon, and I would say yeah, I concede that right up off the bat. But other than that, I thought it was pretty decent. It was a good time. So let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying. See if we agree with some of the snapshot reviews. Oh, 54% by critics, 92 by the audience, and yes, guys, uh, this is an hour and 55 minutes. No post-credit scene, no mid-credit scene, so you don't have to stick around for anything like that. But this is just fun, and you rate it on that fun scale. Okay, I sat there with my friends, had popcorn. We all laughed at the same moments. It moved rather quickly. There wasn't any time in there where I was like, oh, "Come on, let's get on with it." For God's sake, there was nothing like that, right? Um, but because of that cave little analogy that I used, I'm guessing that's how the critics are going to pick this apart. Godzilla King of the Monsters only had 42%, so it's bigger than that. But Godzilla versus Kong had 76%. That was the best one. To tell you the truth, I think I liked Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire better than Godzilla versus Kong. And we watched that one together, right? Snapshot reviews. Let's go in and see if we agree. RogerEbert.com. Didn't like it. The live action and motion capture performances are mostly marvelous despite the bum dialogue and Wingard's tendency to rush through sequences and the whole relationship that might have been extraordinary had they been presented with patience and elegance. I said that the pacing was good. Could I could see that towards the end it felt a little jumpy, it felt a little quick. It was like, oh, we're doing that now? Wow, okay. Yeah, I could see that. That's why I knocked it down for story-wise, right? Just starting. What I liked about this, see this image here? There's some trickery going on here. Because this is not in the movie. Or it is, but there's something else going on in it. And I want to highlight this. You see that image there as the thumbnail. You see the one below it from Screen Culture. You look at that thumbnail and you're like, okay, well that's CG stuff. They've put in what appears to be Mothra there. That doesn't happen. But it's weird because they showed us this thumbnail clip here in the trailers and stuff. They took something out of that image. So in the official image here, they've taken something out that you'll realize in the theater is like, wait a minute, something's in this shot that's not in this right there. That's not there. Something's in here that's not there. Why did they do that? Like, why did they cut this thing out here? I don't get it. So there's things like that happen in it and be kind of like weird. No, Godzilla does not grow wings like this. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of fan posters out there, and just ignore that. You don't need that. I just thought it was a bit of a curiosity to share. Somebody who liked it, the Washington Post. Wingard's not a sentimentalist, and Godzilla X Kong stumbles wherever he tries to slap phony emotions onto the film to make it more like a generic crowd pleaser. Yeah, I could see that. He's a showman, a popcorn guy with excellent aesthetics. Yeah, there's a scene in here where it's kind of like Rebecca Hall and the young daughter, Gia, Kaylee Haughty. Is it Haughty or Hoddle? What? I don't even know what that. Hoddle, sorry. Who did a good job. There's a scene in there where it's like, okay, you found other people like you. Do you want to go with them? I'm your mother, kind of thing. And they try to pay that off. Well, I thought it was a little bit on this, but Rebecca Hall and her did a good job in pulling off that scene that I thought. Sorry, I don't mean that to be spoiler. It's kind of obvious, right? They go down there and they find people like her, right? And you see that in the trailer, production photos and stuff. So I don't consider that too spoilery. Sorry if you do. It is what it is. Let's go see if there's some other critics here that I respect name wise, and then we'll wrap up my score and Get us out of here. I was hoping to see either Perry Nemiroff or maybe somebody else, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay. Richard Roper. Didn't like it. Despite the addition of some new characters, human and otherwise, Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire comes across as a relatively uninspired and repetitive effort and a fairly forgettable chapter in the MonsterVerse saga. Really? Really? No, I came out of it, it was like, I want to see more. Guys, you've established a really interesting universe where we've learned to coexist with these big creatures. Let's see more movies. Like, if you're going to make it about humans, why can't we just have like a small little spin-off of like people trying to exist in a world where there's these big monsters? And there's Matt Donato. He liked it. Godzilla X Kong is kaiju comfort food. Wingard clearly loves this franchise and its monsters. That enjoyment is infectious. All right. So, let's wrap up my score sheet and get us out of here. It's worthwhile seeing in the theater, guys. Sound design, big, of course, always. Let's see where I land on my score sheet. For watchability factor, if you're a fan of Godzilla and Kong, you want to see it at least once, right? I say see it in the theater for the big sound. 7.5. That's about right. That's about right. 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it's no masterpiece. This is not one where you'd be like, guys, this has got to be up for Best Picture. No. And it's weird. It's going to be hard where to place this in my ranking for March here. Because obviously Doom Part 2 is still the number one movie, right? That's going to be probably the number one movie of the year. So it's kind of like, how can anything else compete? But right now, it's probably in line to be second or third. I really like Love Lies Bleeding. But Kong, sentimental-wise, in here is up here. And to see him go off on this little adventure to try to find people or treat his, people that look like him and stuff, I like that story, man. And then because it was like an A and B story, right? You've got the A story of Kong trying to find his peoples. And then you've got this B story of Godzilla up on the surface, wreaking havoc, fighting other kaiju, getting himself prepared for a big battle kind of thing. And it's like, well, what's going on with that? And out of the two stories, I prefer the Kong story, obviously, because he does develop kinship with that smaller creature that we've seen in the trailers, right? The small baby Kong that people say. But guys, go see it in the theater this weekend. Yeah, there's Scar. Throws it. Yeah, it's almost like, I want to see more. Like, I don't know why they cut the thing out here. But they did. Godzilla X Kong, guys, 7.5. The New Empire, in my books, it's a good movie, good theatrical experience. Good theatrical experience. Is it going to win Best Picture of the Year? No, but it's worth your time and money if you can go and see it. You can skip the 3D. Thumbs up in my book. All right, guys, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and we will talk about it. There's no point in really talking about spoilers in this. I mean, what do you think happens? Godzilla and Kong team up and defeat Scar King? Is that really a spoiler? No, of course they team up and defeat Scar King, but it's kind of like the journey to get there and how scary Scar King actually is. Because
now I have seen everything.
The size that you would think. But anyway, it's just interesting stuff. I would watch it again. I want to see more in this universe. And I was really worried that this one would kind of be like, leave a sour taste in people's mouths enough that people would be like, okay, we're done. We're done. We can put this version of Godzilla and Kong behind us. But based on Thursday night previews that made 10 million on Thursday, guys, it may not be. So hopefully keep our hopes up and we'll see more in this series because I'd be on board for it, and I hope you guys would be too. All right, that's it for me, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here on Your Domains. All right, let's get into some. Hold on, get some YouTube comments. High energy review. Pump it up. I think I hit everything that I wanted to say. Yeah. If you go into this with like, that wouldn't really happen. Scientifically, if we do that, then it's like, no. If you go into that kind of mentality, you're gonna pick this movie apart, and you'd be like, yeah, I don't know why people are saying it's so good. Guys, it's not that type of movie. It's a different kind of rating system that you should be using, right? It doesn't need to be under the microscope for absolutely everything, right? Anyway, Megalopolis. Megalopolis plot details revealed, followed by screening. Tale of greed, corruption, and could not be more timely. Yeah, so all over the big trades right now, Francis Ford Coppola has been screening for, I guess, smaller crowds. And this is the film that he financed all by himself. $100 million of his own money, guys. No studio or production house wanted to make it, so he's kind of like, well, this is a passion project of mine. I've wanted to do it since the 80s, or even probably sooner. He had it up here, finally made it, and I respect Francis Ford Coppola a lot. You watch him in the behind the scenes stuff for the making of The Godfather. He's really into every little detail, and I like his Dracula version. So let's see what he said here. Standing ovations for his screenings. Tale of corruption. Huh? So basically, what happens, guys, is that this takes place in the future, I think, and not too far future. I don't know. But like a earthquake or something hits a big, New York or something, and an architect, I think played by Adam Driver, has to rebuild the city, kind of thing, right? And he rebuilds it into like a fantastical kind of place. Megalopolis is crackling with ideas that fuse the past with the future, with an epic and highly visual fable that plays perfectly on the IMAX screen. Okay. It follows Adam Driver, an ambitious architectural idealist named Caesar, who faces a sworn enemy in the city, Mayor Frank Cicero, played by Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah, the cast for this is stacked. It covers complex themes in remarkably brief 2 hours and 13 minutes, not including credits. The destruction of New York City, like Metropolis, after an accident, brings clashing visions of the future. The debate becomes whether to embrace the future and build up a utopia with renewable materials or to take a business as usual rebuild strategy, replete with corruption and power brokering. In between their struggle is the mayor's socialite daughter, Julia, Natalie Emmanuel, a restless person who grew up around power and is looking for meaning in her life. Very interesting. Let's pull up the IMDb for this, James, and take a look at the rest of the cast because it is worth highlighting. Shia LaBeouf, Giancarlo Esposito, great talent. We know that. Natalie Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza. You just sold me it right there. I'll watch anything with Aubrey Plaza. Dustin Hoffman, James Remar, Lawrence Fishburne, Jason Schwartzman, John Voight, Talia Shire, Balthazar Getty, D.B. Sweeney. Wow. Huge cast. Huge. Did I miss somebody? Oh, yeah, Shire. Whatever. Did he even show up? I thought he got fired from this movie. But anyway, whatever. He gets fired from lots of stuff. It is what it is. Natalie Emmanuel. James, it's actually Nathalie. I don't know, guys. Um, yeah, she was in the Fast and Furious movies as well as Game of Thrones as Sandry, right? Yeah, whatever. Standing ovation, yeah. When you screen it to your friends, your stakeholders, of course they're going to be like applauding it. So it's kind of, but I'm still. This is one of the projects that is on my must-see list of the year because of the pedigree, because of Coppola, because of the scope of it all. Austin Butler, Dune Part 2's Austin Butler to lead Darren Aronofsky's Caught Stealing at Sony. So Darren Aronofsky, of course, always works with talent, and Austin Butler's huge talent right now. This is uh, Dune Part 2, Elvis, and of course, we're going to see him in the Bike Riders here just pretty soon. So I want to, great actors. I haven't seen anything of his where I'm like, ugh. So that's a good sign. And of course, Aronofsky, the wrestler, the whale. Yeah, he does. He's got his very distinct style that is off-putting for some people at times, but it's also he's obviously got talent, right? Okay, so Caught Stealing for Sony Pictures. Uh, it's said to follow Hank Thompson, a burned out former baseball player, as he's unwittingly plunged into a wild fight for survival in the downtown criminal underworld, the 90s New York City. Really? So it's a crime drama. Well, I'm up for that. Heat is one of my favorite films. I am excited to be teaming up with my old friends at Sony Pictures to bring Charlie's adrenaline soaked roller coaster ride to life. I can't wait to start working with Austin, my family of New York City filmmakers. And guys, I haven't watched this Airman series. What was it? Air Force, where he's like a pilot there. I haven't watched that because I don't have that streaming service that it's on. It's on HBO, right? This one. Um, but I'm looking forward to Bike Riders with Jodie Comer right there. Doom Part 2. I maybe I'll go see it again today. I don't know. I just like I want to see it one more time before it goes out of the theater because of the sound, man. And there he is as Elvis. Um, could he reappear as Elvis in Timothée Chalamet's Bob Dylan movie? Well, he's asking him to. He's asked him to. So that'd be kind of cool if he, because they're friends now. They've done all the press tours, so they know each other, and that kind of familiarity, that is chemistry. It's good chemistry. Anyway, working with Darren Aronofsky, Bike Riders comes out June 21st. You know it's going to be gritty. You know it's going to be hard hitting, right? Bifer in the live chat says Awesome Butler Air Force TV show is on Apple TV. Okay, good. Have you watched it? Is it worthwhile? Yes? No? Yeah, no? I'm going to be starting into two series here pretty soon, just next week, or maybe even later this weekend. I'm going to be starting in on Reacher on Amazon, and then I'm thinking I might get into Three Body Problem on Netflix because I hear people talking about it. That is kind of controversial. I want to see what the controversy is about. I like the trailer for it. I like that last trailer for it. Yeah. Um, Pfeiffer says, I heard Austin Butler's Air Pilot show is a waste of time. Oh, okay. Well, to each their own. I'm sure, of course, there's going to be people that love it and hate it, so whatever. Next, Simple Favor 2. Paul Feig, Blake Lively, Anna Kendrick. Sequel adds Allison Janney. Cool. Well, she's talent. Once again, you can't go wrong with talent. I like the first Simple Favor. Paul Feig, Blake Lively, and Andrew Kendrick. Blake Lively is kind of like somebody who takes manipulates people and takes their money and grifts them, right? And then Anna Kendrick kind of gives her a taste of her own medicine, which was kind of a cool kind of thing. As I said, I liked it. It was a bit slower. It wasn't funny or anything like that, but uh, I'm a huge Anna Kendrick fan. So a simple favor too, adding Allison Janney comes up in my book. Uh, there are several more returning cast members in the sequel. In addition to Lively and Kendrick, Henry Golding, Andrew Rannells, Bashir, so a bunch of people reprising their roles from the first movie. So if you were a huge fan, I'm sure that's got to make you happy. Variety reports Janie's fellow new additions include that person and that person. Elizabeth Perkins. Now that one jumps out at me. Elizabeth Perkins. We haven't seen Elizabeth Perkins in how long? Uh, Good actress. Most people would recognize her from Big or Velma Flintstone. Good to see that she's still working. How old is she? 1960. So she's 64? Am I doing my math right? Yeah. Let's see. The morning show. She was doing looks like a lot of TV stuff. Good actress though. If we are talking about Elizabeth Perkins here. Amy Adams, Patricia Clarkson. She's aged gracefully, it appears. You're like, her face doesn't look like it's been injected with a bunch of fillers or anything. Man, I was crushing on her hard in that big movie. Big. I think when it came out, that's just when the hormones in my teenage body were starting to go off. Yeah. Anyway, we don't need to know or talk about that. Simple Favor 2 coming with Elizabeth Perkins and Allison Janney. Do we have a release date for this? Simple Favor 2. No release date? Are you interested? Yeah, I'm interested. Would I cross the street for it? No. But Simple Favor 2? I'll find something. Early 2024, early 2025. Okay. Hmm. Ready or Not to. I was hard on a Ready or Not when it first came out. Have I softened to it? No. I just didn't think it was as uh it was pulling from a lot of things, familiar things that we recognize as horror fans. I just didn't know if the marriage of all of those familiar things was weaved together all that well. Samara Weaving, though, was good in it. The sequel to the Samara Weaving horror thriller will not have the former directors returning yet. It was Radio Silence, right? Director in Escape Rooms, Adam Robitel. It was Radio Silence, wasn't it? Gillette and Open. Yeah, yeah, and they did Scream 5 and 6 and Ready or Not. I know that, and they've got that Abigail movie coming out. Um, well, if you've watched the first movie, it's kind of like, well, how could you continue? It's not because she's dead. It's just what else more is there to explore? Because it does end rather definitively. The story of the Universal Monster Project. Okay, so let's talk about their other project. I hate when it's vague like this. It doesn't really give a whole lot of concrete No blow. Cut out the fluff, right? They will not be returning. I do like Escape Room. I did like Escape Room. Uh, I like that movie. So hopefully he can pick up the reins and deliver us a Ready or Not 2 that makes sense. Like maybe there's another cult sacrificing cult out there that is angry that one of their, I don't know, brethren houses gets, well was destroyed, so they want some vengeance or retribution, so they come hunting for her. That's about it. Is all I could think could happen. Maybe I need to revisit it. Maybe I need to revisit it with a different pair of goggles on. I just felt like, yeah, we know that the family's crazy, so it was kind of like there were some other films out there that did it better. I forget what movie what it was. It was like there was a redhead movie where she was invited to dinner and then they try to kill her and then she kills them. Like that kind of scenario. That's what this was, right? Um, so I was rather hard on it when I was like, well, there are ones that did it better. Anyway, let's not digress. Next, Cuckoo gets delayed. Bummer, man. Hunter Schafer horror film gets a new poster and release date moves back 3 months. Cuckoo, yeah, that's when I want to see because of Hunter Schafer. I want to see some of her work. I, because people are like wanting or like touting her as maybe Princess Zelda for the live action Zelda movie. But this movie also stars Dan Stevens. Wow. Jessica Henwick from, wasn't she in the last Matrix movie? We know the synopsis. Reluctantly, 17-year-old Gretchen leaves her American home to live with her father, who has just moved into a resort in the German Alps with his new family. Arriving at their future residence, blah, 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 blah. Something doesn't seem right in their tranquil vacation paradise. Gretchen is plagued by strange noises, bloody visions, until she discovers a shocking secret that also concerns her own family. So, how long is it? It's pushed back 3 months, huh? See if we can pull up this poster from Neon. Fear, it's called. Cuckoo. Eh. Release date? Why am I not seeing a release date? Why can't you just end your articles with the release date? See, see how I have to sift through all of that just to get that information? That's what sucks. Well, at the very least, well, it's not 3 months from now, so uh, maybe July. Ah, very definitive. Hey, James. Okay, so it was May 3rd. So June, July, August. So it's going to come out in August now. Is that what I'm understanding here? Bloody Disgusting says it. It's August 19th, or August 9th. Sorry. See, now that's how you write an article. Give me the information straight up. Uh, the teaser really didn't move it needle for me, so it's kind of whatever. Luc Besson's Dracula. Let's talk about that. Because it's starting to film with Christoph Waltz and Caleb Landry Jones. So there's Caleb Landry Jones. You might recognize him from Possessor. and Get Out. He was in Get Out. And I think Christoph Waltz is playing Dracula. This is kind of cool. I want to see that. In Finland, big budgeted reimagining of the Dracula concept. Dracula, a love tale. Caleb Landry Jones just worked with Besson on Dogman. Yeah, that's right. He did work on Dogman. I never saw Dogman. Besson told the site, quote, I've started already. I'm going to make another movie with Caleb Landry Jones and Mr. Christoph Waltz Dracula. I started a few days ago in Lapland in the north. We'll probably finish at the end of July. I was drawn to the love story. When you read the book, for me, the most interesting part is this man who's going to wait for centuries and centuries because he wants to see his wife again. So for me, it's the ultimate love story. Well, no, he didn't want to wait and wait because he didn't want. It just didn't it just happen that Mina looked like her? Was happenstance. But you know, if Christoph Waltz is playing Dracula, he's going to bring the weight behind it, right? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Uh, Luc Besson. Let's pull up his IMDb. See if we can tail. So he's got 5 upcoming projects. Lucy 2 in development now. Twice Dracula, a love tale. I just like the abstract of what Dracula was. Uh, no other cast, no official release date. But if it's filming now, it says 2025 there. Yeah, I can see it coming out in 2025. After his wife dies, a 15th century prince renounces God and becomes a vampire. Centuries later, in 19th century London, he sees a woman resembling his late wife and pursues her, sealing his own fate. And I don't. Oh, Caleb Landry Jones is Dracula. Really? Hmm. 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 Do I like that? I think I like that. Maybe. I don't know. Well, he's a very competent actor. Uh, he did Anna in 2019. Did not watch Anna. I remember the trailers for Anna. Sasha Luss, Helen Mirren, Luke Evans, Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy, huh? Yeah, I remember the trailers for this. I don't think I ever got around to seeing it though. It was a little bit of a take on La Femme Nikita, right? Or Hannah, or what was the other one's Lollipop, or whatever. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. Where am I at? The monkey. Talk about that. Stephen King adaptation from James Wan and Osgood Perkins Raps production. Stephen King, The Monkey, huh? I never read it, but it has Elijah Wood and Tatiana Maslany. I've got nothing against Elijah Wood. It's Tatiana Maslany that I'm more interested in because I liked her as She-Hulk, and I'm not going to apologize for that, guys. The film will tell the following story. When twin brothers Hal and Bill discover their father's old monkey toy in the attic, a series of gruesome deaths starts occurring all around them. It sounds a little bit like Monkey Shines, doesn't it? The brothers decide to throw the monkey away and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. But when the mysterious deaths begin again, the brothers must reunite to find a way to destroy the monkey for good before it takes the lives of everyone close to them. Sounds a lot like Monkey Shines. There's, gosh, oh yeah, I kind of want to watch She-Hulk again. But anyway, um, James Wan producing, right? He's not directing the monkey. It does sound a little bit like Monkey Shines. See if I can pull up the. Pull up that old movie from 1988. Wow, Monkey Shines. Quadriplegic man has trained a monkey to help him with his paralysis until the little monkey begins to develop feelings and rage against its new master. Oh, maybe just a little bit. Man, yeah. Anyway, monkey. Look at that. It's even got the same type of poster. Oh my God. There's the poster for Monkey Shines. And there's the poster for the monkey. I'm seeing a similarity. Oz Perkins directs. Elijah Wood. Theo James. Why was he not in the cast list headline? Laura Menel. That doesn't sound very familiar to me. Pull up his resume. Her resume. Laura Menel. Project Blue Book. Goosebumps. Circle Short. Batwoman TV series. She was in Watchmen. Janie Slater. Van Helsing TV series. All right. Fascinating. Keep our eyes out for the monkey. I do like this the premise for it. Post production, it's wrapped, so maybe later this year we'll see the monkey. I do like that idea though, that like there's like some kind of weird kind of curse around this toy monkey. Leave it to Stephen King to let his mind take that idea and run with it. All right, is that it for today? We're at 59 minutes, so let's get on to some hit or miss and wrap things up. If it's a hit, we'll talk about it. If it's a miss, we'll move on. Ewan McGregor shares his positive view on Obi-Wan's Kenobi's potential Star Wars return. Well, I think he's going to return. I think he will return. I just don't think it's going to be in Obi-Wan's season 2. They have to go back to the drawing board with some of these series. What they need to do is solidify certain aspects of the Force in canon, so you cannot ever question it. What people like, kind of what's happening with the Acolyte right now, where people are like, the Sith weren't around back then. Why is there a red lightsaber? It's like, you better explain it in your series, right? So like they need to create like the Bible for these series, and for whatever movie comes, and get George Lucas's input while he's still here, guys. Why would you not use that resource? Like, say, hey, I want to take you to lunch and pick your brain about a few of these ideas. Tell me how this works in your mind, kind of thing, right? And he's like, well, this is how I always meant. Like, get like, if you have access to it, use that resource. I don't. That's one of the biggest mistakes Star Wars, Disney did with Star Wars, was that they threw out all the expanded universe and then had the audacity to tell us that, well, we don't have any stories to work from. We're starting from scratch. What? Right? You took, like, George Lucas handed treatments for episodes 7, 8, 9, and they were like, thank you, leave them on the door on the way out. Why? Why would you do that? It's just because they thought that they were combating the backlash from the prequels, but there isn't that big of a backlash to the prequels. Yeah, there's some diehard original trilogy fans out there that feel like that's the pure Star Wars kind of thing. And I agree with all the criticisms of the prequel trilogy. We watched it here on the channel, but I give it mostly all pass because of the cast, because of the story, the visuals, everything that we're seeing. Anyway, I do think we will see him. I just don't think we'll see him back in this in a series all by himself. There's still some things that he could do and show up that will make us go, wow, right? The truth is, I've talked about having to do a cover for the Obi-Wan season for years. I had to lie, and I'm not lying about this now. I don't know. There's been no phone call. Yeah, Obi-Wan has made his limited series, and it's out, and people like it, which I'm very, very pleased. I did like aspects of Obi-Wan. I liked what they were trying to do with the Riva character. It just wasn't executed all that well. I hope we get a chance to make another one, and I'm sure we will. I'm pretty sure, I've got a few years yet before I'm the same age as Alec Guinness, and I do hope. I think when she gets up to the Alec Guinness age, that's when you reboot Star Wars and you put him in as the actual Obi Wan. Unfortunately, I don't know. We may miss timing on certain things, but we'll see how that goes. Sydney Sweeney swaps Madame Web's Spider Woman for Power Girl in DC fan art. Well, I didn't like Madame Web all that much. I didn't like Sydney Sweeney all that much in it. She was really good in Immaculate, and I didn't see her rom com there with Glenn Powell. But let's see. Let's see what this fan art is. Yeah, she showed up like this for one little 10-second clip in the movie where she was wearing like a spider suit of some kind, which would have been cool to see all much more of that. Let's see what this fan. What? You don't have it there? Well, then that's a hard sell. Uh, what? She's going to be a big star. I like the fact that she's taking swings and misses. It's X, so I got to be careful here. That's the article. Well, first of all, it's not proportionate. Her head is too big for what. Uh, if you're just going like this, uh, really short body, the big head. No, I don't like that fan art. Next, Scream 6 directors break silence on being phased out of the franchise. So we were just talking about radio silence with Ready or Not story. Yeah, they left, and they said that they left because they couldn't work with Jenna Ortega or Melissa Barrera. So I'm guessing that their quote is just going to somewhat reflect that. We got excited. We'll be sad that there's not going to be an end to the Sam Carpenter story, but in our minds, we designed Scream 6 so the story feels complete. Radio Silence spoke to Christopher Landon. Yeah, Christopher Landon was going to pick up, but now we know it's Kevin Williamson directing. I, yeah, you gotta come out big and make us forget about the Sam Carpenter story and whatever is going to happen with Jenna Ortega because we don't need them back. If they're bringing back Sydney, start off with a new kind of thing, right? Keanu Reeves partners with Fisher Stevens on documentary about kickboxing icon Benny the Jet Urquidez. I was like, who's that guy? But then I looked at his picture and I was like, oh, I recognize him. He was in a Jackie Chan movie, I think is where I first saw him. And they had a good fight. It was like, I played like a butler or something. Uh, Jackie did. And then he was like the bad guy's henchman. And they had a really good fight. He's really short and it's got a lot of really good center of balance. Let's see if I can pull up Benny the Jet. Yeah, what movie was that? Uh, Goodness. Dragons Forever? No, so they must have fought more than once. Because this is not the fight that I remember. Yeah, he's got a very low center of gravity. His stance is very grounded. Like, see? Like, he's firmly planted. Is there another fight? Yeah, this one. He's fast, too. There's a couple times where they square up, and you'll see that center of balance that I'm talking about. Like, see how low he is? He's just striking. He's yeah, man. And then to be able to pull that off and work with Jackie like that, wow, good dude. So yeah, okay, you saw it there. And he's very like you hit him and it's like you're not going to knock him over, kind of thing, right? Anyway, fighting scenes aside. Good fight scene. And so if Keanu Reeves is developing a documentary about that, cool. Or, about him. I'd watch that with Fisher Stevens. Benny the Jet. Cool. Is that it? Jake Gyllenhaal says Christopher Nolan called to tell him he didn't get the Batman Begins role. Now, if he did audition to it, I don't remember. I remember the audition tape that went out. It showed like Christian Bale, Cillian Murphy, even wearing the bat cowl, trying to do their rehearsal, and they had some other big guy there that didn't get it. I don't remember seeing an outtake with Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal could have easily done Batman. He still could, actually. We just watched Roadhouse. He can still fight. He's still got moves, man. He's still agile, and of course, he would throw his entire body into the role. Could he be up for the rebooted Batman where he's got the younger Robin, Damian Wayne, with him in the new DC universe, James Gunn's universe? Yes, but I think a lot of people would prefer to see Jack Reacher guy. I'm drawing a blank on his name. But that's all I got in the can. Just a bit of a curiosity. All right. Alan Ritchson. Sorry. I want to see Alan Ritchson as Batman. Willem Dafoe joins cast of Jason Reitman's SNL 1975. Okay. Challengers. Sydney Sweeney watches Immaculate with real pastors.
Today really? We are at a big, beautiful...
Real pastors, huh?
Do you have any nuns like that around here? Not.
I like Immaculate.
Is that a big thing?
It goes to some very uncomfortable places. I know a lot of that has to do with the church because you're questioning the power structure of the church. Well, he's the high priest. He's the cardinal. You don't question him. What are you doing? Wait a minute. The cardinal's smoking a cigarette? That's awfully corrupt, isn't it? It's like, well, it deals with that kind of stuff. And it's like, I like that. They didn't pull any punches on that kind of stuff. Godzilla X Kong made 10 million in previews. Yeah, guys. It's going to be big. I think, what are you going to say, James? 60 million opening? Yeah? What do you guys think? Over and under 60 mil for Godzilla X Kong. Pfeiffer says I would have taken all the Star Wars books and turned them into movies. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. And that, see, you wrote the books, and while Timothy Zahn's trilogy that was so it was actually like 5 books. You had the Heir to the Empire trilogy, Dark Force Rising, and something was the third one. I forget what it was. But then you had Hand of the Emperor and the fifth book. That was more about Mara Jade kind of thing, right? Um, but they all dealt with the same kind of events. Um, yeah, you made those books, and some of them had their flaws with Luke, with the clones and the just using the two U's kind of thing. That was your chance to go into those stories and revise them to refine them, right? You had the, and so what if you pay Timothy Zahn? It's not as if Disney doesn't have the money to pay him some royalties or whatever. I just don't get it. The History of Sound, Paul Mescal, Challengers, Mother's Instinct, Anne Hathaway and Jessica Chastain debuts with 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. I like the trailers for that. And I like Anne Hathaway and I like Jessica Chastain is the same age as me. She's my wife, but we never got married and we never met. Mother's Instinct. What is that streaming on? I don't know. Prime. Wait a minute. No, it's not on Prime, is it? Pull up my links. Pull up Prime. You know what is on Prime though? Marlowe. I just said the other day I want to watch Marlowe with you guys. Should we watch Marlowe together? Maybe on Sunday we can watch Marlowe together, guys. I know it's going to be boring for a lot of people, but I want to check it out. Okay, so what were we looking for? Mother? What's it called again? Mother's Instinct. That's 2015, though. Not seeing it here, guys. Marsh King's Daughter's on there. I'm going to add that to the list. I need to watch that. He said it was on here. Not seeing it. I am not seeing it. So I Cry Foul. Free on NF. Is it on Netflix? Well, on Netflix.
I don't know if we shouldn't mark the
Not seeing it there either, man. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I got for today. Uh, maybe, or maybe I'll secretly record my reaction to Free Body Problem because I'm thinking for Reacher and if I do Three Body Problem, I'm gonna watch it by myself first, and then I'll post it later on, and then if I like it, we'll go on and we'll watch it live together. All right. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the weekend goes. It's a long weekend. Happy Good Friday, everybody. Happy Good Friday. I mean, for God's sakes. Anyway, happy long weekend. Go out and see Godzilla. It's a great movie. See you next time, right here on Mirror Domains. Thumbs up.